two women came in front of Solomon, and each one claimed that she is the real mother of that baby. King Solomon instructed to bring a sword and to cut the baby, cut it into two parts. One woman was willing to tear the baby in two, but the second woman refused profusely and insisted that the baby will stay alive and whole. Even today, both sides in this national debate claim to love the baby, to love our country. I am aware of the increased tension that is happening between the two parts of the country. I am listening to the wants of many citizens to release this tension. But there is one thing that I am not willing to accept. There is one minority that is willing to tear this country into pieces. It behaves with violence, ignites fires, threatens to hurt politicians, inflames civil war, and calls for refusal, which is a terrible crime. The country of Israel cannot be without the army, and the army cannot be with refusal. On the one hand, refusal from one side will lead to refusal from the other side, and this will be the end of our country. Therefore, I insist the heads of the army and the forces to resist profusely the refusal, not to understand it, not to contain it, not to accept it, to stop it. Those who call for refusal, those who call for anarchy and for violence, are consciously tearing the baby into pieces. But the majority of the Israeli citizens on both sides do not want to tear the baby. They will not tear the people, citizens of Israel. I will not tear this people into pieces. Over the last 3 months, I've read once again, and I have said that I will turn every stone in order to find a solution. Because we remember, when we do not stand in front of an enemy, we stand in front of brothers. And I say here and now, we cannot allow a war between brothers. We are on a lane, or in a collision course in the Israeli society. We are in the height of the crisis that is threatening our basic unity. This crisis insists that all of us must choose responsibility. Yesterday, I read Benny Gantz's letter in which he promises to enter into dialogue with an open mind. I know there are other people who support this, and to them I open my hand, and I do that after receiving the agreement of most of my friends. When there is a possibility to stop a war between brothers by dialogue, as Prime Minister, I'm taking a time out. I take a real opportunity for real dialogue. We insist on the need to bring the necessary reforms to the judicial system, and we will give the opportunity to achieve them with a wide agreement for such a noble cause. And therefore, from a national responsibility, and want to avoid tearing the people, I decided to suspend the second and third reading for this sitting of the parliament in order to give to give us the opportunity to reach this broad agreement for the legislation in the next sitting of the Parliament. This way or another, one way or another, we will bring the balance between the separation of powers in order to strengthen the rights of the individual. I want to address those who support the national camp. We have the majority to do it. We have a big majority, huge majority. Tens of thousands of our supporters came to Jerusalem today in order to support the reforms, in order to say, we need a change. We need reforms. I want to tell you, I'm proud of you. You are not second-rate citizens. I appreciate that you came out to the streets today, the streets of our capital city, in order to make your democratic voice heard. Your democratic voice will never be silenced. And I have to say one more thing. You came spontaneously, not organized, not funded, with full of heart and full of soul. You moved me. I ask you just one thing. Continue to behave responsibly and don't get dragged into any provocations. Our way is the right way. There is a big majority in the people that knows that we need to have reforms in the judicial system. We will not let to take away from the people their free choice. We will not give up on the way for which we were elected, but we will try to find a broad agreement. Citizens of Israel will live in a generation of building. History has given us a unique opportunity, an opportunity that never happened to anyone, to come back to our country, to build our homeland and our country. Soon we will celebrate the Passover, the days of memorial, and the day of independence. We will celebrate together the holidays. We will mourn our fallen together. We will celebrate our independence together. And we will appreciate together the men and women of security that haven't forgot for one moment their duty to protect all of us all the time. All of us have a common destiny. We all have a common destination, and this destination is to promise the